Tinubu should act fast on not readiness for peaceful separation of Nigeria. My dear, Abio, the news in detail. It was very remarkable to read that the North is now ready for Nigeria's division into its constituent parts for many reasons. In the first place, the revelation coming from the lips of a highly respected and distinguished Northern leader, Prof. Ango Abdullahi, showed that history beckons for a separate homeland for Igbo in the light of renewed antagonism against them by powerful elements in both the North and the Southwest. Secondly, the recent nationwide protest organized by youths of this country has brought back the same old worries that have always bedeviled Nigeria, thereby exposing our pretentious patriotism. It is now left for us to keep pretending that Nigeria's first union is not a time bomb that threatens to blow up at the slightest provocation. If we fail to act in a civilized manner to settle this undying rift amicably. So I was tickled few days ago by the opinion shared by the acknowledged and vocal Northern elder and former Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Prof. Ango Abdullahi. This respected member of the Northern Elders Forum, NEF, stated that Nigeria's amalgamation instrument has expired and the country should consider going their separate ways. Coming barely a few days after a Yoruba group announced the decision to start a protest to chase Igbo away from Lagos State and the Southwest with neither strong caution nor rest made, the pressed interview by Prof. Abdullahi shows that Nigeria is due for retirement. The former Abu VC has stated, and I quote, "We have not been able to build a country according to this edict. The British say if we fail after 100 years, we should go our separate ways. We have to look at ourselves and see whether we have strived enough to build a nation before and after independence. At this time, there is no need to be sentimental about it. We cannot really build a country the way it is now. If we could not achieve any form of consensus, then we should go our separate ways." Permit me to say that Prof. Abdullahi Meni repeated what many have been saying for a long time. I totally agree with the erudite prof, but I will still plead to be allowed to hold on to my personal belief that Nigeria is far too big for one black person to rule profitably and successfully. My argument has been that we black Africans lack the detailed exposure, mental capacity, integrity, and objective mind to preside over the affairs of such huge geographical contraption made up of people with diverse socio-political and cultural backgrounds. The hardship protest has therefore exposed the fault line such that with even two nations in one delineation could no longer survive, despite the recent attempts by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his supporters to belatedly interpret his Emiloko mandate as the turn of the South. As the hardship protest showed that marriage between Tinubu's Southwest foot soldiers and the North has broken down, effort to unite South began as a safeguard to the Northern political insurrection. But sadly, the support of Southeast, which was denied consideration in 2023 after the North and the Southwest repeated access to the presidency, is now being courted or vilified for not taking active part in the hardship protest. Now that Prof. Ango Abdullahi said the North is ready for a split of Nigeria, I wish to thank him for waking up to the reality of the times, barely 14 months after the North left the presidency. The spokesman for the Northern think tank has suddenly realized that the veritable index that Nigeria is ripe for balkanization is that other Nigerians may have realized the futility of this continued bandwagon. Based on this new thinking and the North, I wish to support the challenge posed by the internationally acclaimed Prof. Ango Abdullahi that Nigerians should come together to discuss how to share what remains as assets and liabilities of the expired amalgam Nigeria. We as Igbo have been experiencing marginalization until it matured into total exclusion and demonization of everything Igbo. It is therefore interesting that the North is complaining merely 14 months after being out of power. The former RBVC disclosed that during the 1995-1996 Constitutional Reform Conference, the late Dr. Alex Ikweme's proposal for the abduction of the 6 geopolitical zones as the basis for confederation was rejected just because, as presently constituted, suspects anything from Igbo, no matter how salutary and germane. The fact that a wonderful proposition, which has been in operation when it pleases the owners of the unworkable Nigeria, is not in the Constitution explains why, in 2023, nobody in the North saw reason to consider South is the same way Southwest was accommodated in 1999. This conspiracy and selfish exclusion of a part of a country's tripod have come back to haunt this British contraction called Nigeria, so much so that the Fulanis who were holding the country in trust for Britain have started clamoring for the right thing to be done for the sake of administrative efficiency and good governance. It is obvious that the North is pained that Tinubu may have tricked them into supporting his ambition to be president, even when they knew that it was actually the turn of either the Southeast or South-South to become president in 2023. It is possible that some of the Northern leaders were blinded by either greed or hatred for Igbo to support Southwest to become a president again after the zone had enjoyed 16 cumulative years as president and vice president, leaving Igbo totally out of the political equation. Some Northwest governors that supported Southwest to produce President Tinubu may have felt disappointed. When Senator Kashim Shettima was nominated as presidential running mate and vice president, which in my opinion helped to balance political opportunity between the Northwest and the Northeast. It is therefore unfortunate that till date, those leaders have not seen the political wisdom or patriotic need for Southeast to pair with Northeast after the Northwest and Southwest had just served out 8 years. Few narrow-minded Yoruba political fortune hunters who are calling for the total banishment of Igbo out of Nigeria in the name of supporting Tinubu must have seen that indeed what goes around comes around. The North is now waking up to their mistake and are rising up to challenge the unfavorable scheme of things, particularly the nepotism in governance and erratic management of national economic fortunes. Based on the foregoing, I hereby call on my old friend, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to, as a matter of urgency, convoke a meeting of Nigeria's ethnic nationalities to oversee the review of the 1914 Amalgamation Edict instead of trying to put back life into a dead horse. I believe that President Tinubu should take advantage of this golden opportunity to right the wrongs of Nigeria's statehood by taking up the challenge from the North that is now ready for Nigeria's breakup. At least coming from a highly respected and representative voice of a 19 northern states, President Tinubu should not treat the call with disdain the same way Ekweme's 6th geopolitical zone and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's call for referendum have been neglected. On a final note, I believe that God and heaven has decided to answer the prayers of true lovers of Nigeria, especially all those who have made huge sacrifices in blood and political opportunities. Well, this is all I'm saying is enough is enough. Make everybody go their way. Sincerely, it is crystal clear that nobody can rule, just like they said, nobody can rule this country with clear mind of, they believe say nobody can do it. So let everybody go their separate way and let us stop suffering everybody. All right, on this note, we've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.